Hey guys, what's going on? Andrew coming at you. I don't know, I wanted to sing today. So I thought it'd be fun to talk about negotiating in Sweden versus the US. And I'm going to compare this to like in car sales to like buying a home. And it's in my experience, and I've had an experience recently where it's just like straight up, like it just doesn't seem like negotiation happens in the same way. It's interesting to me. It's fascinating. I might be wrong, but I don't think so. So please comment below if you've experienced something different, if you do a lot of negotiations. But in America, a lot of times when you got to buy something or do something, you got to negotiate the price. And I think a good situation is both sides compromise on something and they each get something that they want at least. And both people feel like they benefited from the sale and everybody wins. That's basically the premise of negotiating in America. The better you are at negotiating, the better deal you can get, of course. And if you're going to buy a car, if you're going to buy a house, you're going to have to sit there and negotiate back and forth with people, or bid in the case, like, you know, it's not really negotiating if people keep bidding on a house, but if you're the only person bidding. So I'll give you an example. So we're buying an apartment, right? And we get a private showing on this apartment, and they wanted us to make an offer, and we really, really liked the place. And I was like, you know, I was like, what do they want for the apartment? And it ended up being, they were like, well, they don't know what they want. They want us to just make an offer, which personally I felt like was a disadvantage to us because it would have been fair for them. I don't know what they paid for the apartment beforehand. It'd be nice if they gave us a number over that so that they could benefit in that way. But I was like, no matter what offer we give them, in my belief, no matter what offer I give them, they're going to probably raise the price anyways. And we have to have a little bit of room to move our money. So let's hit them with a little bit of a lower number so that they'll finally give us their real number so that we can, like, somewhere, you know, get in the middle here. And, like, we made an offer. It was lower. This was a first offer. There was room to negotiate. And the homeowner was, like, offended, I think, or whatever. They was so upset about the price or whatever. Maybe not upset or angry, but they weren't happy with the number that I gave. That they just shut it all off and were like, all right, we're going to take the house on the market. Like, they were insulted. And it's so funny to me because it was not intended in that way at all. And it was just an attempt to negotiate and get to where you need to get. So that's been my experience. But I guess you would more likely just give them the number, and it just doesn't seem like negotiation happens in the same way. So it seems like a lot of times there isn't much negotiation going on. Price, offer, done. That was my experience. But I'll give you an example. If you're going to like buy a car in the United States, you're always going to negotiate that. There's a price on the car, and you can get the lower price, a higher price. It comes down to, again, the negotiations process and what it was a good deal for everybody involved. And in the United States, if you're going to buy a car and you're going to say this car is, I used to work as a car salesman, not long, but I did. It was pretty cool. If you're going to buy a car and I'm going to tell you this car is worth $30,000 or whatever, I better damn well show you why it's worth $30,000. So a big part of sales is going over all the features and talking about every part of this vehicle. And so that when I say this is $30,000, you're sitting there going, yeah, you know, I've seen why, right? Well, I just always found it funny because I've heard in Sweden, I haven't bought a car here yet, but from people I know and people that work as a car salesman, that in most cases in Sweden, they'll just give you the keys. You go, you take the car, and it doesn't seem like there's as big of a thing with like trying to go over all the features of the car. So it seems to me that in Sweden, they just say this is what it is, and that's what you get. And in some cases, that's how it feels. It just feels like, to me, there's less negotiation happening, and it's more like someone tells you what to pay, you pay it, and yeah, there's just no room. The thing that's, I don't mind that in Sweden, but I do think sometimes it feels, or at least it felt for me as an apartment shopper, that you as the apartment buyer could be at a disadvantage, like the situation I was just in. The negative and positive about negotiations, at least in the United States, is if you're good at it, you can definitely save some money and you can definitely get some great deals. Where in Sweden, it's going to cost what it's going to cost. And, you know, not everybody likes negotiating. Not everybody likes dealing with those things and going through it. It can be high pressure and everything else. So I understand that it can be nicer to be in a situation where it's just like, this is what it costs, man. No room for negotiating. Boom, that's what we need. Boom, all right, we're done. So I understand that, but I guess for me, I find it to be fun. And it seems that a lot of countries and cultures do have a lot of negotiation going on. So that's my experience housing cars. And what I'll say is I don't necessarily mean that's the same for like someone working in a sales position in Sweden, as I'm sure there is negotiation and sales going on, but actually dealing with it in the country, it just seems to happen at a very less rate. So, all right. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. And what do you think? Like, was I right here? Was I wrong here? I would love to hear it because, like I said, I can only give you my opinion. It doesn't mean that I'm like 100% correct. All right? All right. See you, everybody. Take care.